Hello, and welcome to MetaMoms, a polyfamily podcast. I'm Taya.
And I'm Alicia. We're two moms in one big, beautiful, not so traditional family.
Raising kids and rewriting the rules of love, partnership, and parenting.
This is our story, unfiltered, unpolished, and unapologetically ours.
In this podcast, we're doing a deep dive into all things polyfamily.
So many have told our story for us, but now we are taking the mic.
We're sharing the behind the scenes of our real lives, the hard conversations, the hilarious moments, the logistics, the love, and the learning curve.
No experts, no scripts, just two moms
and two dads
making it up as we go and making it work.
Welcome to MetaMoms. Let's get into it. Obviously, throughout this podcast, we're going to be sharing our perspective. We are going to bring the guys in. We'll bring some family and friends. We're going to talk about all things polyamory once we get through the timeline of events of our story.
And we're going to talk about other random stories and events in our lives that have nothing to do with polyamory, that are just hilarious escapades in our life. Our personality is not just polyamory. We are regular people too.
A lot of people use the word lifestyle to explain polyamory, and I don't live my life polyamorously. I'm so much more than my polyamorous relationship. That's like saying, I live my life monogamously. Your relationship shouldn't define your life, right? And so, although we do share about it online, and it seems like our entire life is about polyamory, it's not. At the end of the day, we're regular people. We're moms.
I kind of stopped at moms because I feel like that's a big part of our personality. But we're also
farmers.
We're farmers. We're passionate. We're advocates.
We are advocates. It's good for us.
Yeah, we care a lot about a lot of different things. We're very passionate people. If you followed us both online, you know that we're very passionate about a lot of different things.
And we think monogamy is valid. We've been in monogamous marriage prior to polyamory, and polyamory is, we weren't looking to get out of our monogamous marriages.
Nope.
We ended up adding to them, but we have the insight to say we've been monogamous and we did just fine. Polyamory may have pushed us to grow a lot more than monogamy ever did.
I can tell you what, my communication is 1,000 times better now being polyamorous, because it had to be.
Mm-hmm.
You have to grow so much and learn how to over communicate in order to be successful at polyamory.
Mm-hmm. It feels like over communication, but really it's a baseline that I think everybody should be striving for.
Honestly, and learn so much about yourself. We'll have an entire episode on, probably multiple episodes, on jealousy, on fairness, on communication, on growth, because those are all things that we had to not only unlearn, but learn about ourselves in order to grow and become more well-rounded as individuals and as partners and in a polycule.
Well, and in my views on those things have all changed over time. Like, tremendously. My views on polyamory have changed from the beginning.
Absolutely, especially since we didn't know what polyamory really was going into it, and you have this certain mindset of what your expectations are or your preconceived notions are, and then the more you learn about it and the more you kind of unlearn about it, those perceptions can shift as well.
Yeah. But we want to spend some time diving into our original monogamous relationships, because we do want to invite the guys into the space. We do want to give them an opportunity to share their side, and also we want to honor those relationships because they're very important to us, and they were and they still are.
And there's a reason why how we got to where we are now. And we think that's important to give that backstory to kind of show and explain how we got to where we are, which starts from the beginning.
We know that you want all the juicy details, and we're going to get there. But there is 17 years of backstory. How we started is not how we function now.
We learned about polyamory kind of as we went along. Everybody's journey is different, and we are excited to take you along on our journey.
We're taking it all the way back to how we met their fathers. How did we meet their fathers?
Well, that's an interesting story. So Tyler and I, it was November of 2007. We're going way back. Yeah, if you remember. Oh my gosh, there could be people that weren't alive yet. Now I feel real old.
I was in middle school.
So yeah, November of 2007, I was a freshman in college and I went to a house party, actually not where I was going to college, but back in my hometown. And I was there with one of my best friends and I was drinking Jello shots out of a tumbler.
As one does.
As one does. Probably was my first mistake, honestly. And in comes this guy.
6'5".
6'5".
Sorry, that was how I fell in love. You continue.
But he came in with a girl. And so, I mean, I had already had some Jello shots and I was a little bit tipsy, but I thought he was cute. And I asked my best friend that I was there with, who I'm still best friends with today, if he was with the girl that he came with. And she's like, Mandy? No. They're just good friends. So I'm like, okay, I'm in the clear. There's opportunity here. Also, my flirting game was not the best, but I had liquid courage or Jello shot courage at the time. And I ended up flirting with him a little bit. We, throughout the night, ended up trying to leave that party and go find another one. Don't worry, we had a DD. And I had my phone taken away from me by my best friend because she didn't want me to drunk text anybody else, because you might find out in other stories that I have a drunk alter ego named Felicia when I'm tipsy, and then when I'm too far gone, she turns into Fifi. That's a story for another time.
Fifi was locked away forever.
Yeah, Fifi's not allowed to come out anymore.
Yes, I've seen Fifi.
Yes, Fifi has gotten me into lots of trouble.
Unless that was Felicia, then I'm scared.
You've met Fifi.
Okay, good.
Yeah. You've met Felicia as well, but Fifi is, yeah, that's a rough one. That night was just Felicia, though. Anywho, I ended up, there wasn't enough room in the car. I laid across all the people in the back seat, including...
As one does.
As one does.
Don't worry, we had a DD, but I wasn't...
I was not seatbelted in, but I wasn't driving, at least. I don't drive drunk. Please don't do that. No, if I've had a drink, I will not drive. Laying across everybody in the backseat, including Tyler. We never found this other party, but I did have to pee multiple times. You did
find your husband.
I did find my husband. I had to pee multiple times. So on the first night of meeting him, he got to witness me peeing on the side of the road multiple times.
It worked for him.
Yeah. But I didn't have my phone. I ended up giving him my phone number, hoping that I gave him the correct number, because it was out of memory in my drunkenness, and ended up making out with him in the back seat as other people got dropped off at home, since we never found said party. And it ended up just being him and I. Even though there was multiple seats available at this point, it still seemed like the right thing to do, to lay across the back seat with my head in his lap and make out with him instead, as one does. So the next day, I got a text message from a guy that was Tyler, and it said, I don't know if you will remember me or not, but we made out last night and you gave me your phone number and I'd like to hang out sometime.
Shoot your shot.
Right? And I remembered him. And we started texting. We went on our first date. The next day, I invited my entire floor of my dorm to go with me. There was a fundraiser that was happening. It was at the Cold Stone Creamery in my college town, and I didn't tell him that my entire floor of my dorm was going to go too, but it's a guy that I hadn't really spent very much time with yet while being sober. So they wanted to vet him out and make sure that he was gonna be safe. So he came to pick me up, and two of my dorm mates just hopped in the car with me and he drove us to Cold Stone. So he just casually went on a date with me and 11 other of my dorm mates to Cold Stone. And I didn't scare him away by that. And that was almost 18 years ago. It'll be 18 years in November. And we have been together ever since. And that is our love story, built on a night of drunken Jello shots of how we met. And if the kids ever ask how I met their dad, I say at a party. Aww. But yeah, I met them at a house party is how I met Tyler. And it was just funny because we went to the same high school. He's 2 years older than me. We went to the same high school for 2 years, hung out with completely different crowds, didn't know each other in high school, knew a lot of the same similar people. But I always say that's a good thing we didn't meet in high school because we are very different people. Met 2 years later. Still had a lot of different personality qualities at the time, but it ended up working for us, obviously, because we're still together 18 years later.
He's told me he needed you.
Yeah, and I needed him. He is the calm to my anxiety.
And you're the type A to his no type A-ness.
Correct. Yes, I helped him figure out what he wanted to do with his life and give him direction. And he has thanked me many times for that. And we built a beautiful life because of the way we found each other.
Okay.
Your turn.
All right. Okay, so I also went to that college, but like way later. Not way later.
Way later, because she was in middle school when I was going there.
No, so I graduated high school in 2013.
I was already out of college for 2
Listen
years
up, all
by
you
then.
age speculators. I graduated in 2013. I went to Oregon State for 2 years. Then I came back to the Portland area where my family was. And my dad actually used to work for a security company that was still around. And so I applied there because I needed a job. And that's where I met Sean. My first memory of him is me walking up to him as the supervisor of the day, and he was calling out names to see who was there, and somebody wasn't there, and he was like, Josh, and someone's like, Josh isn't here, and he was like, God damn it, Josh. And it made me laugh, and I was like, oh, this guy's funny. And then we kind of built a friendship from there, and we had a friendship before we dated. And obviously there's an age gap, but we always got along really well. We made each other laugh. We had a lot of banter, and we were both kind of workaholics at the time. We like put a lot of time and energy into our work. And so we spent a lot of time together, and I started developing feelings for him, and eventually we ended up going out. Our first date was at McMenamins at a bar, and there was live music playing, and we hung out, and we ended up just sitting and talking for like, I don't know, 3 hours. We sat there for a really long time. We had some drinks, and then we sat in the car and ended up talking for hours and hours and hours. And we took things really slow. Like I don't know, it was an interesting dynamic obviously because we worked together, and we worked well together for a long time. And obviously it's still working.
How long did you guys end up working, like continuing to work together?
At least another 3 years.
Oh.
Yeah, so we got married while we were still working together. 2 years later.
Wow. Tyler and I ended up getting married in 2012. So we started dating in 2017, but I was 18 and he was 20.
Scandal.
Whoa. That was like November. Yeah, so that was November. And then he turned 21 5 months later. And I was 19 a few months later. So, I mean, I had a 21-year-old boyfriend when I was 19 and in college. So, yeah, I had my partying days when I was with my scandalous older boyfriend.
I don't really know where else to put this, but I will say that as far as mine and Sean's age gap, and you know, I know a lot of people have feelings about that. And the thing for me is, like, at the time, obviously being a young 20-something-year-old, I was like, age is just a number, screw it, like, we get along really well, whatever. What I've learned since then, obviously, for anybody who's younger listening to this, or you know, in this relationship dynamic, when you're in an age gap relationship, there are power dynamics at play regardless of our work positions. Because I didn't feel like his supervising, the dynamics of that job, just it didn't feel like a power position, especially with the position that I was holding at the time. However, an age gap is a power imbalance, so that's something that further along in our relationship we had to address and talk through. And so it's just something to be aware of. Obviously, I was a consenting adult. However, it does make things a little bit harder because you do have to acknowledge the generational gaps. You do have to acknowledge the power dynamics at play. And we had to do some like healing and digging into that because that was something that needed some attention because it didn't get enough attention in the beginning. Just something to note as far as like younger listeners or people who feel some type of way about age gap relationships. It's not impossible. It's not always ideal. And also it takes a little bit extra work. Can I also throw in that when I started dating Sean, I was very aware of his older children, and no, I will not be speaking on them. They are not my kids and they are not in contact with him. And that's something that's very important to us. So although their parent has decided to put them out there, that is her choice, but it's not my place, and they are not my business, and they did not sign up for this. And that's a decision, very conscious decision that we made from the very start. First of all, they're adults.
Right. That's what I was going to say. I'm like, they're not children. They are
his
adults.
Kids, but they are grown adults. Mm-hmm. It is none of anyone's business, including mine. If you're here listening to us tell our story, that's what we're here to do. Out of respect to one of the children who asked that the names be removed, we decided to, one, respect that request, and two, get them covered before the show because we didn't want to cause extra exposure to them when they didn't sign up for this.
So we chose to spend the money to make sure that that was not something that we were going to expose them to on a national platform
per their request. This podcast is not going to turn into us being defensive over stupid speculation and gossip. That's one thing that we're not going to do, but we are going to continue to tell our story. And some of these things don't fit nicely in the timeline. Some of these things don't get tied up with a little bow because there's fallout. Like, we obviously started a relationship and we had contact with Alicia's dad. We had contact, so like things change over time, mm-hmm. and they change for personal reasons, and they did not sign up for this.
Well, I mean, even just looking back, like I got married, Tyler and I were together for 5 years when we got married, and he proposed on our 4-year anniversary. I got married when I was 23. It was the year after I graduated college. And I mean, I'm glad we waited that extra year just so that we had a little bit of funds because I didn't make a ton of money when I was in college.
It's crazy how many people get married at 20-something.
Yeah.
I was also 23.
Yeah, I was 23 and Tyler was 25 when we got married. And looking back at it now, being 36 years old, I'm just like, we were babies.
I'm not ready to get married now.
And even like our kids as they grow up and stuff, like when they want to get married, I mean, we're going to support them. We're going to love them, obviously, with their choices and stuff like that. But I mean, I watch Love Island and I'm looking at the 23-year-olds on Love Island. And I'm like, you guys should not be getting married yet. Mm-hmm. Like, no, you're not ready. And I got married then. Mm-hmm. I mean, granted, I was with Tyler for 5 years at that point, and I felt, I mean, I gave him an ultimatum too, and I'm just like, we've been together for how many years now? When are you going to propose?
The OG ultimatum, right here.
Yeah. I'm just like, dude, we've been together forever. Like, we're great together. Everybody says we're relationship goals. Like, why are we not engaged yet? Other people have already gotten married now. So, like, what's the holdup here? If you haven't already been able to figure this out, I'm the decider. So I was like, should I just propose to him already? Like, this is
that would be very on brand for you.
Yes. So I'm just kind of like, can you just give me like a timeline here? That was kind of my ultimatum. It was like, I need to start planning. And
I feel like that's fair because when you're 20-something and you've been together that long, it's
like,
okay, I have an excuse. Everyone's like asking me about it. Like, it's fun. Like,
it wasn't like an ultimatum. It's
exciting. It's just that, girl, your brain hasn't fully developed yet.
Yeah, and looking back now,
and I say that as somebody who also got married at 23.
Yeah, I'm like, why was I in such a rush?
Because it just feels like when you're that age that you're knocking on death's door at 25. And
true. I mean, also, I lost my mom when I was 18. And like, my mom got diagnosed with breast cancer when she was 30. So to me, like, 30's old. Like,
It was for her.
It
In her
was
life
in
timeline.
my childhood, in my development, and my like trauma and growth and stuff. Like 30 was old because that's when you got diagnosed with cancer. And so like my timeline is off because of that. And so like those I factor those things in when I think about life. And okay, this took a dark turn.
That's how old I am now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm not like I just
Yeah, I mean like
devastating.
yeah, and so
Because I feel so young.
Right,
I'm only
exactly.
17. I'm a teen mom.
you're a teen mom. And I'm 36 and I still feel young. I have an 11-year-old. We have an 11-year-old. And I'm 36 and like I got a lot of life left to live. And so it's like I needed to get married. I needed to start having kids. I wanted to make sure that if I had all of my kids had to be done like as quickly as possible, because if I was going to die young, I needed as much time with my kids as I possibly could have before I died young. Because that's what I was used to. That's how I grew up. So that was like my mentality. Like that was like the thing that was stuck in my head.
It's so interesting to hear that because my mom had me at 17.
Yeah.
Or just after she turned 18. And so I had similar views, but for different reasons, which was like I really loved having a young mom. And, you know, as a kid, she never let me see her struggle. And it's not that I didn't understand that teen pregnancy or having a kid young would be really hard. I did. And that's not something I wanted for myself. However, that's what felt normal. Like it felt almost inevitable.
Interesting. And if she made it look like that she didn't struggle through it, and that was just
she did, but she had
norm.
really, really good support.
Yeah.
And I loved my family and the support that I had. And I would have had great support. However, hell no, I don't want to have a baby at 17. Like I struggled having a baby at 28, you know? It's like
yeah. So I mean, for me, like that biological clock was ticking at 23 years old, but looking back now, seeing that I'm healthy at 36 years old, I'm just like, oh man, why did I rush? But also, I mean, I'm still with Tyler 18 years later. Like, you can't predict what the future is going to hold either. And we all have our reasons for like wanting to rush into things or making the decisions that we make.
Just know if you're 20 something and getting married, we get it, but also, you know, maybe don't rush.
Yeah. And I did a term abroad when I was in college, and Tyler and I mean, we couldn't afford for him to come visit me when I was in Europe. So we did long distance for 4.5 months while I was there. It was a 9-hour time difference. We tried Skyping as much as we could. It was really difficult. And he worked a night shift at the job that he was at. So our schedules were just like so far off. And there was times that he missed our Skype date because he slept through it. And it was weird times. And I like was devastated. And I had all these big emotions being 22 years old and missing my boyfriend.
I'm breaking up with you.
Oh, yeah.
You're not important enough for you to wake up. I can only imagine.
He got a tattoo from his friend who was unlicensed and made this decision without even talking to me. And I'm just like, my trust was so violated.
He tattooed his body.
Yes. Without talking to me and with an unlicensed thing. I was like, that was the dumbest decision you've ever made in your life. I was so mad. And looking back at it, I'm like,
oh my God. That is so
big emotions.
Funny.
Like I was, oh man. But I had these European friends that were just like, why do you react this way? Why do you have this big emotion? Yeah, no, totally calling me out. Totally called me out for it. And they're like, why are you rushing to get married? Why are you like, they date for 10 years. They have kids before they get married over there. They're like, why are you getting married? Like, why are you in such a rush to do all of these things? It really, they challenge you on these thoughts that you're so used to over here.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
Why? I thought you were going to be like, why do you like him? No.
No.
Why are
just
you crying?
Like, why are you overreacting? I'm like, oh, my bad.
Okay, rude.
Yeah. I'm just like, oh. Okay.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah, they totally challenged the way I thought about those things. And they're just like, why, American?
because we're stupid,
Like,
obviously.
why are you so dramatic? I was like, okay. But so, I mean, our frontal lobes are not developed. We don't understand the feelings that we're having.
Especially when you weren't given. I mean, you know now that your emotional intelligence at that age was non-existent.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
even if your parents did like try and teach you that, it still hasn't necessarily caught on. But they didn't.
Right.
Your parents didn't have the capacity to teach you
No.
emotional intelligence because they didn't have it themselves. Your mom
Right.
was sick, and your dad still doesn't have emotional intelligence.
Correct.
So. Okay,
that's a whole other episode.
This is okay.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes,
I
that's
can say
okay.
that.
Yes.
Okay.
We can acknowledge that. Polyamory is not always accepted by or understood by all family members and friends. And that's something that we can get into at another time.
We will absolutely be digging into lack of acceptance.
And part of that does have to do with emotional intelligence and just being able to, feel like part of it is just being able to accept what you can and can't control.
Mm-hmm. And giving space to grieve what you thought would be for other people.
Yeah. And also like what's actually harmful versus not.
Mm-hmm. We acknowledge that polyamory can be hard for people to understand. We acknowledge that they might need time and space. We acknowledge that they're going to need they're going to have questions, and they're going to need questions answered. You know, like my family's big concern was me getting hurt, and like I get that and I respect that, and I'm thankful for that.
Mm-hmm.
However, it can feel like they're not on your side.
Yeah. And my family, I feel like, from my understanding of it, because all I have is my understanding of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so
that's going to be the theme of this entire podcast, by the way, is this is our perspective, our experience, our words. That doesn't negate someone else's experience. That doesn't negate her dad's experience. I'm not here to argue their experiences.
All we can speak to is our own experience and our own interpretation
and
our own feelings and
of events.
Mm-hmm.
And that will continue to be a theme here, because we're going to talk about my ex-girlfriend. We're going to talk about her dad. We're going to talk about the things you want to hear about, okay?
Eventually.
However, we're going to share our experiences, and that doesn't automatically negate their experiences.
Exactly. Sometimes our relationship and the way that we choose to live our life and who we choose to love, yes, it affects you in ways, but it shouldn't have more. Your main concern shouldn't, I feel, shouldn't be how it's going to affect you. Mm-hmm. It should be your concern, I feel, should be my happiness.
Mm-hmm.
If you're concerned about me.
Mm-hmm. Because the reality is that we, like, on the concern of, like, I don't want 9 people in my house to be able to have you over. Oh, we can still spend one-on-one time together.
Yeah. Or you can come to my house.
Uh-huh.
I got a big house.
Or we very intentionally have a home where we can host.
Yeah.
It's things like that where we acknowledge that they feel complicated for some people. Like, why would you choose this path? Because it's more complicated. However, we wouldn't choose it if we didn't feel like we were following our heart, and this is what we want for ourselves. And also, we can acknowledge those complications, and we can try and accommodate feelings around those changes. So I think that's where the disappointment comes in terms of people not accepting us, is like, let's talk, let's figure it out, let's work it out, let's find a way that's going to work for all of us, because we're supposed to love each other enough to do that.
Yeah. And you've been the same way, that like you've changed. God,
I'd hope so.
Right? And it's okay to change. It's okay to grow. It's okay to learn. It's okay to, oh man. Like she just said, I hope so. Like it's okay to do those things, to grow, to learn more about yourself, to accept who you truly are and live authentically. Yeah. If you're curious about our lives, I'm pretty sure you already know that.
Yeah.
Or you're curious about that and you want to know more. And I'm hoping that that's information that you are gaining from listening to this, because honestly, until you start living your authentic self, like, that's I don't know. That's honestly the best message that I could have given my kids through all of this, is just being able to be yourself
Mm-hmm.
and not living for somebody else.
Mm-hmm. And not asking permission
Mm-hmm.
and not being scared and just being able to own that. Like, and we'll talk about coming out, but I remember going to tell my mom and being like, I'm not asking for permission. I'm not asking for permission. I didn't want to apologize. I didn't want to ask. I wanted to say it. I'm in a polyamorous relationship. I did not want to phrase it in a way that felt like I was doing something bad, or I needed permission, or something was going to change based on her opinion, because it wasn't. It wasn't. And it's not that I don't respect her opinion, but at that point I knew what I wanted. So tell us about your proposal.
Okay. The beauty of polyamory, and I'll probably say this so many times, is that every relationship is so unique and so different. So the story of my proposal is something that Taya would absolutely hate. And so it's so funny because it's something that was so perfect for me, because Taya and I are two completely different people.
And that's relevant because we get a lot of questions like, oh, does he do the same thing for both women? And it's like, no, because if I got proposed to in this way, I would be very disappointed.
Because we are so different. And if I had two Tylers in two different relationships, I would go insane.
I love Tyler, but same.
I love him so much, but that's what's so great about polyamory, is that you don't need to be everything for one person. And so you can be yourself, and you can get other things from other people. And so the way Tyler proposed to me is like, I love to be able to include other people in my life and to have like a grand gesture. And Tyler knows that I like grand gestures. And so and romantic gestures and stuff too. So this was his proposal to me, was a combination of those two things. Mm-hmm. And so on our 4-year anniversary, which is in November, we were supposed to hang out that day. It was his day off from work. It was my day off from work. It worked out wonderful to have that day off. He ended up telling me that he had to work. And it was just going to be like a partial day. We were still going to have the evening off to go out to dinner. And we were going to go out to dinner with my bonus parents. And just kind of like do a little double date. And we never get to go out with them. So I was excited to go and do something with them. Even though it was our 4-year anniversary, I don't necessarily need to do something exclusive, just the two of us. Him and I live together. We see each other, just the two of us all the time. So to get to go and do something special with my bonus parents at the time was really exciting to me. But since he had to work, I went to hang out with my bonus mom. I bought my horse from her. I ended up just moving in with her and her husband when my mom passed away. They just kind of adopted me. And so I spent the day out there at her barn, and we rode horses, and she needed to kill a little bit more time before the plan. And so she's like, oh, I promised Lloyd that we bake cookies, so let's bake cookies. Again, I had a little suspicion, because I'm always a little suspicious.
Just a little suspicious.
Just a little suspicious. But I'm just like, I even told her earlier in the day too. I'm just like, wouldn't it be so funny if Tyler was planning something and we go back to our house and then he has some big elaborate proposal.
She's sweating bullets.
Yeah, she's like, don't set yourself up for. She totally gaslit me.
Didn't you say that she said something like, "Do you really think Tyler could pull that off?"
Yeah,
that's such a good line, because I wouldn't.
Yeah, she's just like,
he's not a good liar.
No, not at all. She's
terrible. I love me a man who can't lie.
She's like,
so serious. I thought that last night, and I thought about making a video about it, because I was like, love me a man who can't lie.
No, yeah, Tyler is the worst liar.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Honestly, most men are that I've met, but
but I'm also one of the most gullible people ever anyway. So I'm just kind of like, sure, I'm just going to believe that you're telling me the truth.
It's probably for the best. I'm a very suspicious person.
I am not.
I work on vibes more than I work on words. Vibes are off. Liar.
I'm just like, well, I don't know why you wouldn't be telling me the truth, so sounds good.
Well, Alicia.
Yeah, I trust everything. And she's like, you know they were lying to you, right?
She'll be like, why do you think that? I'm like, did you not see their voice tremble and they looked up to the left 3 times?
I was like,
she's like, what?
No.
That's so fucking. And I'll just be like, we'll see.
And I'm just like, maybe they were just nervous because they...
No.
This is why we balance each other out.
Yes, because if I've made up my mind about somebody being shady, sorry, but time has proven time and time again.
And I'm like, no, just give him another chance. It'll be okay.
How'd that work out for me last time?
And then if somebody screwed me over and I tell you, I do not trust them with the 10, like I will not go within 10 feet of them. You better believe me, because that means they fucked me over and I do not give them another chance. Mm-mm. You best believe me if I tell you not to trust somebody, because I've probably given them 20 chances. Yeah. Okay. Back on track. And so I even said to Vicky, and I'm just like, wouldn't it be funny if blah, 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 blah. She's like, do you really think Tyler would be able to do that? And I'm just like, yeah, nah, you're right. And so I'm just like, she totally pulled that one out. And so later she's like, okay, well, let's go back over to your house and then we can get ready and then we'll come pick up Lloyd and we'll go out on the date. And so then we're heading back over to my house. The only thing I would have changed is the fact that we were going back over to my house so that I could get ready for the date. So I was in my barn clothes. I had no makeup on. I was not ready for this part. So the pictures and the video are not flattering because of that. But it was still, I don't know where they're at. It was 2011.
If we find them, we'll share them.
Like that was 14 years ago. So
they've got to be somewhere.
Maybe. I'm sure they're somewhere, but I mean, the only picture I have of the engagement is my fat finger with the ring on it because it was the wrong size, but I was putting it on anyways. As I'm walking up to our house, I see a flash of light inside. I hear voices, and I'm like, "What is going on?" And I go inside, and I open the door to 70 of my closest friends and family.
Couldn't even name 70 people I like.
And this is why this is her nightmare.
70?
70.
There's a total of 7 people I would want there. A 10th. I mean, I'm so happy for you.
Thanks.
It's just the contrast.
Yes. And like I could barely even walked in the door because there wasn't enough room for all these people in our house. And Tyler's just sitting down on one knee with the ring and like proposed to me.
It's so funny to think about the contrast of, because I got proposed to in our home, just us two, like, and that's what I wanted. Like, I was like, I want it to be private. And granted, it was like kind of a weird time in my life because of our age gap relationship and like people just being unsure about that. However, it was a pretty lonely time because I was in love and I didn't feel supported. And so that's what I wanted. It felt like us against the world at that time. And again, like, not saying there's things I wouldn't have done differently, but for that time, that's what I wanted. And I had no idea. So we had gone and looked at rings together before, and I basically had picked out the pieces of my ring. I was like, I like this band, and I like this top, and I like this. And because I wanted to be able to pick it out, because I'm very particular about what I like in terms of style, and I wanted to be able to pick it out. And then I was like, I'll pick out the elements, then you can take care of the rest. It was cheaper to pick out the elements and put them together to get what I wanted. And so we did that, and then it was like months later, and he like faked that his back was hurting, and then he like popped back up on one knee and posted.
I could totally see him doing that too.
Yeah, he was like, and like melted down the ground. He's all, will you marry me? I don't even remember what we did after that. But if it were now, I would definitely want, my mom and my family to be there. But for that time and what I wanted and what I needed, like it was perfect.
Yeah, mine turned into an engagement party because everybody
I
that
love
was
that.
there, like they all brought stuff. My dad brought a cake that said congratulations, Alicia and Tyler was already written on there.
Cute.
So there's people beforehand, like before I got there, that were like, what if she says no? And Tyler's like, "Pfft."
She forced me to do this.
Right. I was like, it was November 16th. He had till the end of the year. He was running out of time anyways. Like I knew it was gonna happen. He had already accidentally shown me the ring on his phone as he was scrolling through pictures. Like I knew he had it. I knew it was coming up. I had circled, I didn't pick it out, but I had like left a engagement ring catalog and like circled ones that I liked in the catalog.
Yeah.
Was this one of the ones that I circled in the catalog?
No.
Nope.
There's no way.
Absolutely not. But he picked it out. I like it.
You can send him to me in case
Yeah.
he ever gets around to send me some inspiration.
Another polyamory perk. Not a polyamory perk that I thought was going to be a polyamory perk.
I know what you're saying, but I don't have the word.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point in time, I'll find the word for it. But
unexpected?
Yeah. Why was that so hard?
I don't know.
Okay, an unexpected polyamory perk is that having another woman who knows what women like, and
because if he tells me he's gonna go pick you out a new ring someday, I'm gonna be like, wait, have you asked her what she likes?
Yeah, because I love that he picked out my ring and he worked hard and this is what he liked and wanted to propose to me.
You gave him multiple options.
But I gave him multiple options and this was not one of them.
I'm disappointed. We're gonna have a talk.
It's okay. I'm pretty sure isn't like 20, like isn't that one of the anniversaries, like a diamond anniversary or something?
Is it?
I think so. Get a new ring at some point, but yeah, so we had an engagement party right afterwards and stuff. So
that's pretty cool.
Everybody was there for an engagement party and we didn't have to like plan another party for that. And it was like everybody brought stuff for it. So we didn't have to pay money for another engagement party or anything. And so that part was really cool to kind of just like transition straight into that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I think it's the attention of it's almost like opening presents on your birthday. Like, I want that part to be alone. I like the idea of an engagement party afterwards, though, or like people joining after to celebrate you and your love. At that point, that wasn't realistic for me just because of everything that was going on. But yes, I will say that by the time we got married, my family was there for the wedding. But
even the contrast on our weddings, too. Like, how many people were at your wedding?
Like 15.
Yeah, I had 200 at mine.
There's just I do not care about 200 people. I'm so sorry.
I mean, just my family alone, you know how big of a family I have.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I have less
I just feel
contact
like
now.
If I get too far out, like, I'm never going to stop inviting. Like, when do you...
That's
if I'm inviting
my
people
problem.
for me,
I was worried about hurting people's feelings, so I just kept inviting and inviting and inviting. Like, just my family alone was like 80 people.
Yeah, I have a really big family too, but like half of them I don't necessarily...
I was worried that they were going to be offended, so I just kept inviting.
Yeah.
But also...
I had already offended my family, so...
Yeah, so you were good with it.
No, I just wanted
Yeah.
I did have some people mad at me, for sure. I got married also on a rooftop in Vegas. So it was a destination.
Pictures were gorgeous, though.
It was a destination wedding. So those tend to be smaller anyways.
Right.
My big thing was I wanted a dress I felt pretty in and I wanted a view. And I got those two things. The most money we spent was on the rental of the rooftop. It had the strip in the background. And we loved going to Vegas. We'd gone there every year up until that point. And then we got to go back for our anniversary, which was fun.
Yeah. And Tyler and I actually went to Vegas for our honeymoon.
How was that?
That's a different story. Shh.
Hey. You brought up Fifi. Felicia was there.
Fifi was there. Oh boy, there were some really fun parts of it, and then there were some good times, and there were some bad times.
Basically, we drink very sparingly. Alicia
Yep.
didn't drink at all for years
Yeah, for quite a few years.
because it wasn't ending well.
Yeah.
And I don't say this to shame her. This is just something we've already very publicly talked about, and I think it's important to talk about because
Yeah.
she recognized that alcohol was causing less than desirable behaviors, and
I had my problem is that like it's not that I couldn't stop drinking, and I don't want to claim that like I'm not an alcoholic. I don't feel like I need alcohol or anything like that, and I can't stop drinking alcohol. I'm not addicted to it. But when I start drinking alcohol, I don't know my limits. And so then once I start drinking, I just keep drinking, and then I get out of control. And that's where I'm just like, I just need to choose not to drink for a while because I was making poor decisions when I was drinking. So, and I just really don't like the hangover. It just sounds awful. And we have little kids, and they don't care if you're hungover at all. They don't care if you're sick. They don't
we
care if
used
you
to
got a
host
headache.
quite a few parties, and we really haven't done it in quite a few years because of babies.
We did a few, but like COVID really, obviously,
That's true.
drove
We used to have a
down
Halloween
that,
party
but-
every year, like because my birthday is 5 days before Halloween, and we used to do a Halloween party every year, and we haven't done it.
Yeah. But also it's just like we a lot of things are just so centered and so focused around the kids, and that's honestly
I see more kid parties in our future.
Yeah, that's the main focus of our lives. Like we can get back into hosting adult parties later on. We only have so many Halloweens with our kids. We only have so many summers
I'm not
and other
upset
events
about
with
it
our
by any
kids.
means.
So
But we do enjoy hosting a lot. Specifically, Alicia and I like to collaborate on parties and stuff like that. So we did do a Halloween party last year or 2 years ago that had like kid crafts and stuff, which was fun.
Oh yeah, we did do that.
We really like to have a space where our kids can invite friends over. And
Yeah, it would be cool to do another kid Halloween party. And I did kid Halloween parties growing up. My family, my dad's house, actually, we would host them and have other friends over and have Halloween parties almost every year. I remember getting those magazines. I want to say it was like Oriental Traders or something like that, where you can just like get bulk Halloween or little tchotchkes or something like that, and we would have a budget and be able to get some like decor and stuff, and we would actually have little Halloween parties for our friends and stuff, and I just really enjoyed it. So being able to do that for our kids is a lot of fun. We really like making experiences and having cool experiences for our kids. We can talk about how we first kind of like came out to all of our family members and how I approached my dad and how I talked to how Taya started talking about how she told her mom about being polyamorous and about all of us. And like I had many family members that I told about us and had many different reactions and friends, and Tyler had people that he had to tell, and we all had a lot of people we had to tell. I sat down with HR at work to tell them. And that was one of the scariest conversations that I had outside of family members, because I was wondering of like, how is this going to affect my work? We had really hard conversations about if Sean and Tay are going to be moving down from Portland and uprooting their entire lives and moving 2 hours away to be with us, they're not going to be hiding this relationship. So what does that mean? And that means being out in every sort of way. And what effect is that going to have on the kids in school and publicly? What is that going to mean, like I said, job wise, friendship wise, parental interactions? Like there's so many implications that came with that. And we had a lot of those hard conversations that you never thought that you would have, especially when the reason that we all kind of started exploring each other was simply supposed, this is a weird way to say it, except each other's bodies. That's not what I meant. The whole reason why we started talking to each other was because it wasn't for polyamorous reasons.
Oh, right. We would just try to.
Stop that.
Sorry.
It was for physical reasons.
For funsies.
For funsies. We were exploring the swinging community. We're looking to boogie, get down, hang out with our wings out.
It's for next episode.
Oh, is it? Yeah, because
next episode we will talk about
other.
how we met, kind of our experience with the swinger lifestyle, and how the quad got started, and maybe coming out.
Yeah, so we can talk about how we met each other and kind of the feelings that developed and kind of we needed to
snowballed.
Yeah, it definitely snowballed very quickly.
A whole
unexpectedly.
Snow village now.
Snow village.
Yeah, it's more than a snowman. There's multiple.
We got snowballs
Snow
into snow children.
Snow house.
Snow farm.
Snow horses. Snow chickens.
Chickens.
Snow neighbors.
Snow TV show.
I can't wait for it to melt.
You're breathing on it. Light it on fire. Okay, that escalated quickly. Thank you for listening to our story told our way. If you loved it, share it with somebody who would love it too.
Make sure and follow, subscribe, and come sit at our table. We always have room for one more. See you next time on
MetaMoms.
Polygamy Podcast.